Hey guys, it is May 27th, 2012, and I am just a little over 4 weeks post-op from my lumbar microdiscectomy at the L5-S1 level. Since my last post, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, not gonna lie. Surgical recovery is slow. I was totally and completely unprepared because I've never had surgery before. I've never even broken a bone. The only time I was ever at the hospital was for an ear infection when I was a kid. So this is so painfully slow to me. But I think the most difficult part about it, though, was it's the biggest thing is that you're kind of, you read like all these horror stories online about, people re-herniating their disc and just by sneezing or, accidentally just in the spur of the moment just picking up, their kid or something like that, and you wonder if your nerve is getting inflamed, you're having a flare-up. I'm like, oh my God, did I re-herniate my disc? So that's, I think, the biggest annoyance, I think, with this whole thing. And you definitely, absolutely have to be careful. You can't really bend or twist for the first 6 weeks, and you really have to be mindful of the way that you move. No doubt about that at all. But the thing that that I have to keep in mind also is that people tend to only write about things when they're not satisfied with them. Just kind of like, you see a customer review online or something for a product and they were so unhappy that they decided that they needed to, tell somebody about it. And that's kind of how these surgical outcomes end up, I feel. Because if you're happy with the way the surgery went and you're not in pain, you're out living your life and you're doing, going back to normal. And when things go wrong is when you get online and you're looking for answers and you're trying to see if anybody else has, gone through the same thing you've gone through. So I will say that everyone who I have talked to in my personal life who has actually had the surgery or has known somebody who's had the surgery, every single one of them has said that it was successful for them. So that does give me hope. So try not to, I spent hours and hours online, like, oh my God, like every little twitch, every little, flare up that I had, I just was like, oh my God, like I'm freaking out, did I do something to it? And because what ends up happening is that when you inflame your nerve, you can kind of feel like the same pain that you had before the surgery. And that's very scary. And but I went in for my follow-up appointment, and the nurse practitioner told me that if you re-herniate your disc, you'll know. She said you'll hear a pop, and you'll be in excruciating pain, and it won't go away. So for me, that kind of made me feel better because I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, sometimes it does get inflamed when I do too much, but it will eventually go away if I lay off of it. So I'll know then that it's okay and that I didn't re-herniate the disc. But it is very scary. And actually, I think the whole excruciating pain kind of thing was when I first herniated my disc. I always said that I never really knew when it happened because it was just a gradual thing. But in retrospect, I think looking back, there was a time when I was on the elliptical at the gym. And of course, my music was really, really loud in my ears because I listen to music when I work out. And I remember feeling something go really wrong and just this lightning bolt of pain just going from my lower back all the way down through my leg. And I remember being like, what was that? And I was able to finish the workout. I was totally fine. It was just this, high voltage pain, and then it was gone. And then here and there it would kind of come back, and then that's when it started. It all started. But So, but I have been told that if it does reherniate, then I'll know for sure. So that does give me a little bit of peace of mind. As far as bending and twisting and stuff like that is concerned, I was told that any like excessive bending and twisting is not a good idea. If you're bending at the hips and you are, like she said, if you have a dog or something, you're like bending down. My chair tends to squeak. It needs WD-40 like the last like 7 years. If you tend to bend down and pick something up, she's like, if you do that 5-6 times a day, that's not good. But if you're bending at the knees, I kind of had a little moment where I sort of kept bending down, and suddenly found myself squatting, and I was like, oh my God, and it really inflamed my nerve, and I got kind of scared, and she's like, you're fine, you'll know if you reherniated, and if you keep bending and stuff like that, then that's not good, but try not to worry too much. What else? If you find that you are in a lot of pain, you may want to kind of back off the activity. I remember I read this document as a PDF file online, and what they said was the first 2 weeks after your surgery, you can't really move very much because you're trying to heal your incision and all that. The next 2 weeks, you start to have a little bit more mobility, and you find yourself sort of testing your limits and bending and twisting a little bit more than you had in the first 2 weeks. Because of that, your nerve gets inflamed, and you feel a lot more pain than you did in the first 2 weeks, as far as like leg pain and pain in your rear, because that's kind of that's where your sciatic nerve is, and so. And then the 2 weeks after that, chair squeak, the 2 weeks after that, then that's when you really start to see the improvement. And I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen, because I've been in a little bit of pain lately. But actually just today, I started to finally feel like this is actually working. Because yesterday, I had a kind of a tough day. I was in a lot of pain, and I had gone out for a walk for like 20 minutes, and I went to the gym and did the elliptical for 20 minutes, and I came home and I just was in a lot of pain, and I'm like, why am I still in pain? Like, it's 4 weeks later. I should be feeling better, but I had a conversation with my mom, and she's like, and she's been, watching me from day one. She's really helped me a lot. Taking care of things while I'm recovering. And she's like, I think you're pushing a little bit too much. I think you need to back off and, take a day or two off. And I took today off, and I feel 10 times better. So really I'm just sort of inflaming it. So the point is, try not to get too freaked out if you feel pain. It could be that you're just sort of overdoing it a little bit, and you just kind of need to back off the walking, and it's hard to really know what to do, because everyone says, like, after you do the surgery, walk all the time, just walk like as much as you can, as much as your body will let you. And I guess my body's just letting me know, no, not so much yet. So I backed off, and I'm gonna walk a little bit less and be more careful about my movements. I've been a little bit more liberal, not as vigilant with the way that I move when I twist and turn and do things, like the little things, like, you're, picking up the remote, or, doing something, and you twist more than you normally would. And, you just have to be a little bit more careful about it, and it's made the biggest difference even in one day. So that's good. And, just sort of listen to your body. I feel like, if I sit for longer than 15, 20 minutes, I feel it. If I lay down for longer than 15, 20 minutes, I feel it. And if I stand for longer than 15, 20 minutes, I feel it. So it's a constant, like, being aware of how you feel. Don't stand too much, don't sit too much, don't lie down too much, you know. It's just get up when you need to get up, when you start to feel stiff, you know. If you start to feel like in pain, then you sit down. And everybody's different, you know. Somebody who only had a disc herniation for 4 months to 6 months is going to heal a lot differently than I would when I had it for 3 years. So your age is a factor, I'm sure. You know, your general health is a factor. I'm lucky that I'm on the younger side and I'm fairly healthy, pretty healthy, and yeah. So I'm hopeful that, you know, it'll work out because I'm so healthy and that I'm only 32. And, you know, so, you know, it just depends. And it depends on how well you take care of yourself. I'm really been, like, you know, watching what I'm eating and you know, just drink a lot of water and stuff like that. And you know, should work out. And what else? It's just, you know, it's been a kind of a roller coaster, you know, because especially when you're feeling like it's not gonna ever get better, and you're just like, you know, people tell you what to expect physically, so, you know, and even then it's not like all cut and dry. You know, nobody can really tell you, you know, by week 6 you should be walking 2 or 3 miles. Like, nobody can really tell you that. It all depends on you personally. And, you know, so, but it's been emotionally taxing, not gonna lie, because it really does get frustrating. But, you know, one of the things that the nurse practitioner told me was try not to measure your progress by each day. Measure your progress by every week. You'll feel like you'll push, and then you'll, you know, it'll start to say like, hey, you know, like, you're not really supposed to do that. And, you know, then you'll feel like you're taking a step back. It's kind of like taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back all the time. So she said, try not to measure your progress by the day. Try to measure it by every week. And I really find that helps a lot because, you know, on a day-to-day basis, you know, I can go for 2 or 3 days where I'm like in agony, and then finally I lay off of it and I'm okay. You know, I was going a little stir crazy last week, and I ended up driving to a friend's house who lived about 40 minutes away, and I knew I should have gotten out of the car and walked around, but I thought, you know, it's a Sunday, I'm not going to hit any traffic, and you know, I'll just be okay, like, you know, it'll be fine when I get there. And hit a little bit of traffic, and ended up sitting a lot at my friend's house, and then drove home and hit a little bit of traffic. This was a Sunday, and it wasn't until Thursday that I finally felt like, okay, this inflammation is going down. So, so just, you know, it's you know, you figure out what your limits are. It does get frustrating, I'm not gonna lie, but the best thing that you can do is listen to your body and make sure that you're doing all the right things. And, you know, hopefully you'll get better quicker. I'm starting to learn that more and more. It's hard because I've never had surgery, so I don't really know exactly what to expect. And, you know, it's been over 4 weeks now, and I've been like stuck in my house and, kind of dying to get out. But, you know, I have to be more patient. And today really gave me a really good idea for what would happen if I were to actually just back off of it a little bit and be a little bit more patient. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I have my follow-up appointment on June 19th with the surgeon. And, you know, hopefully we'll see what the progress is, and you know, hopefully by then I'll be feeling a lot better. So, yeah, I think that's about it. That's the 3rd update, I guess like 4 weeks out. And, yeah, so I'll update again, and I'll let you guys know how I'm doing. and hopefully I'll have good news by then. So, see you later.